Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome back to another video for EVE Vanguard, the new first-person shooter being developed by the EVE Online development team at CCP Games. Now, today I wanted to talk to you all about something very, very exciting. I've just had an email that an NDA that I had signed, that is to say a non-disclosure agreement, has just expired and therefore story time. Oh yes, EVE Vanguard, what do I know just before First Strike goes live tomorrow? And you might understand why I'm just a little bit excited about this. Now, before we jump in on this one and I spill the beans everywhere, I just want to first of all ask you, please kindly hit like on this video and drop a comment down below if you can. Both of those things help improve engagement, which basically teaches YouTube to send my content out to more people, showcasing it to more folks. Basically, it's you saying, we like this, show it to more people. It's a brilliant way to really help support the channel, and it only takes you a couple of seconds just to click like and maybe drop a short comment about what you're looking forward to in regards to EVE Vanguard. If you do want to go the extra mile to help support the channel financially, first of all, thank you. Secondly, we'll talk about that later on in the video. Thirdly then, if you are new to the EVE Online experience, in the description down below there are two links that will really help you out. The first is my referral link. You can click on that to get 1 million free skill points in EVE Online, and there's the Catskull Community Discord link down there as well. Great place to come and chat with myself, my community, and a bunch of really friendly folk who are very keen on all things EVE Online. We've got a lot of people very interested in EVE Vanguard as well, which is what we're here to talk about today. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Right, so, I was at FanFest in September, up in Reykjavik, Iceland. And while I was there, it was an excellent chance to meet a load of the developers, learn about all the new stuff coming to EVE Online, like the Havoc expansion and what's happening further on into the future, and to meet a bunch of the community and just great EVE Online players. It was one heck of an experience, and my goodness, I cannot wait to go back and meet more of you, perhaps at EVE London next year. I'm hoping perhaps in 2024 I might be able to go to some of the other EVE events globally, combine a nice holiday with something like EVE Vegas or EVE Miami or somewhere else around the world. I don't know, let me know if you think that you'd love to have me come to your local EVE meetup in 2024, and I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, the next big FanFest in Reykjavik is in 2025, and you can bet your bottom dollar that I will be there. But in addition to all of these different things, the folks who saw me at FanFest know that I just miraculously vanished on Saturday afternoon. Basically, I was sent an email on Thursday saying, hey, we would like to show you something top secret. Please be at this place at this time and introduce yourself to this person. Well, naturally, I did exactly that. I signed my NDA, my non-disclosure agreement, and on Saturday afternoon I met up with CCP Shortfall and CCP Delage, and I'm pretty sure you've all already figured out where this is going. But it was a good, fun afternoon. I got bundled into the back of a black unmarked van, at which point I said to the driver, am I being kidnapped? And he just chuckled. Then the door opened, and I can't remember if it was Shortfall or Delage, handed me a can of beer and then just slammed the door shut again. And I basically chuckled and said, well, if I am getting kidnapped, this is one of the better kidnappings I could have asked for. Then the door opens at the back, and Delage and Shortfall both clamber onto the van and basically say, you and the other people on this van are being driven off to CCP HQ to be the first people outside of the development team to play EVE Vanguard. And oh my goodness. So they drove us off to the Groshka headquarters in Reykjavik. They got us to sign everything all sorted there and done and dusted, into the offices. And what a brilliant building that is. Looking at all of the swords on the wall for like long-term service to CCP, and Helmar's freaking Claymore or whatever you want to call it. What hell of a sword. Brilliant little models. We played a little bit of pool on some of the tables and drank quite a lot of beer and some of the special whiskies that were available at FanFest, like the Minmatar whiskey, which, yeah, is absolutely on par with what you'd expect a Minmatar whiskey to be, i.e. very good at killing brain cells and degreasing engines. Anyway, few beers down, they announced that yes, we're getting hands-on with Vanguard. Who would like to go first? And yours truly had his hand in the air, faster than a speeding Ares or Stiletto. And straight away, dragged through into a side room where they had Vanguard set up on some PCs, and we all sat down. Now, I am ludicrously proud to be able to say that I was the first person to sit down and log into Vanguard outside of the development team, with a small team of other content creators and people from the EVE community around me as well, and we jumped in and we played some matches. And oh my goodness, that first build was just incredible. I really enjoyed getting in on the ground. We've got headsets on, we're talking to each other about what we're going to do. We've got the development team sort of standing around us, sort of chiming in with little, have you considered this, try doing that. And in we went into our first ever experience of Vanguard. The three of us on three teams, 2 teams of 3 against each other, with obviously all the NPCs in there as well. And of course, you drop in, you can open up that little contract menu, select what it is you want to do, and start exploring. And just that feeling of being on comms with people and going exploring this brand new experience was just incredible. Obviously, we'd seen it played that morning on the big screen where it had first been announced. But jumping straight into that, getting in on ground level and actually getting to get the feel for it yourself, absolutely incredible. Now, I know a load of you have already done the little test that came out last week, the sort of server stress test. Some of you may have even been in the closed test prior to that. Obviously, I know a lot of you are very excited for First Strike tomorrow. And I can tell you, having done the little pre-test on the 26th, yeah, there are some differences between what I played at FanFest and what is now available. And already that is showing a lot of forward thinking and forward step taking by the development team. And I know that sounds a little bit shilly for me to essentially be doing a video just to say, hey, I played this game and it was great, and actually they've made it even better in literally 2 months. The amount of stuff they've done is surprising. There was a lot of really cool stuff that we didn't actually get to showcase in the original footage. I forgot to even try it on the 26th, so we'll see if it's in there tomorrow. But things like mining, this is something that wasn't showcased because it was all placeholder graphics at the time, basically using a mining laser to shoot little green placeholder markers on rocks to get materials from those. Obviously, you had the guns that were available, as we saw in the demo. We had a couple of different missions of going around. One of them was to collect these keys from these little green canisters that we had to find, and you'd listen to those because they would beep when you were near to them, just to let you know that one was nearby, and that was really cool, though I am hoping we get a visual on screen as well for where that sound is for those with hearing impairments. I love that in Apex Legends Mobile, PUBG, Dead by Daylight, stuff like that, where when a sound happens nearby, there's a little sort of sound notification around the heads-up display that shows you which direction that came from. I just personally find that really easy to use. For me, I don't know if it's an autism thing, but spatial audio I do sometimes struggle with in headphones, even when I had a $250 pair of Astros. So I hope those visual identifications are there as well. But being able to get hands-on with this, we had a great time. It was a fairly short experience at first, then we went back out into the main room, had a few more drinks, while the second team went through and tried Vanguard for the first time themselves. Then, after that, back in I went, because I was absolutely addicted by this point and ever so slightly tipsy from all of the beers and whiskeys that had been put into my system at this point in time. Like, seriously, CCP, you made me sign an NDA, then basically got me super hyped up on a really exciting video game, then dumped me off at the World's End party, World's End party? Crikey, what am I saying? The party at the top of the world, with more than a little alcohol in my system, more than a little hype going through my brain, and expected me to keep that NDA silent? Well, I did. I absolutely did, but my goodness, do you have any idea the willpower it takes to not talk about something that you are super excited to share with everyone when you've had about 12 cans of beer and 4 glasses of whiskey, and then you get to the party and your friends are buying you more drinks? That was a fun one. Trying not to talk about this game has actually genuinely been difficult, and so I am so excited that First Strike is going to be launching tomorrow, because all of you guys can jump in and give it a go as well and see what's changed since I tested this back in September. Because my goodness, it felt a really good product then. Definitely not finished. I mean, as I said, the mining stuff was completely placeholder, and there were some missions that they said they wanted to add in. There were other sort of systems that hadn't come online yet. This is still very early in development, remember, but it still felt so polished. And looking at what we had in September, and looking at what we already have now here in early December, well, late November when I last played it, is astonishing. Absolutely astonishing. And I cannot wait to get more of you in on this to see what you guys think about it, how you feel about it. I suck at first-person shooters. Like, literally, the first time I went into that game, I was dead in about the first 5 minutes. I died about twice more after that, but the second time, when we went back the second time to play the game, my goodness, I was just absolutely rinsing through it because I understood the game, and I was really excited just to get as deep into it as I could. And so certainly, when First Strike goes live, I'll be making videos. When the game goes live, I will be covering this alongside EVE Online. I'm not normally a first-person shooter fan, and so if you're looking for top-tier plays and amazing gameplay from people who can do no wrong, that won't be me. I will continue my EVE Online ethos, my general, like, YouTube ethos of, I'm having fun, here's how you can too. Thanks, Otto Mechanic, for that wonderful soundbite. That will be evergreen forever. And going along the lines of, I screw up so that you don't have to. I will showcase the mistakes that I make going through Vanguard because I think that's more authentic and actually makes for more entertaining content. But we'll see. We'll see when Vanguard launches, when First Strike goes live, what I fancy making, and I'd love to hear from you, the community, what you want to see me cover in regards to Vanguard, because I'm sure I could easily put together things like blooper reels, I could show some top tips videos, or I could just do let's plays and boring crap like that, but it's what you want to see, so let me know. Anyway, folks, that's about everything for today's video. I just wanted to wax lyrical about how much I love this game, about how excited I was to play it back in September, and really drive home how much it has changed over the past couple of weeks. It feels like literally 2 months. 2 months, and the progress we've gone from build that we played at FanFest to build that we've played just before First Strike goes live is insane, and if the development team can keep that pace, we are on form for one heck of a gaming experience, and I can't wait to share that with you. Speaking of sharing, if you enjoyed this video and you fancy supporting me financially, check the description down below. I have a Patreon page where you can pledge to support monthly. You can get your name in the end of the video, in the stars at the end of every video. Plus, you also get updates, hopefully sort of every week or two, about how my real life is going. I know that's not everybody's interest, but if that's something you'd like to hear, $1 a month is all it takes, and I'll be writing little sort of diary, blog, journal entries, letting you all know what it's like outside of the captain's chair in real life. I need to get better at that. There's other things I want to talk about there, like how I make my videos and how I come up with different concepts and what I want to do in the future. So if you want to be involved in that, $1 a month is all it takes to come and join me on Patreon. $5 a month to get your name in the stars at the end of the video. Might drop that down to $1 as well and have another tier of that added on. We'll see how I think about that, how I feel about that. If you're a one-off donation kind of person, you want to buy me a cup of coffee to fit in my little G244 mug, then go for it. That can be done on my PayPal tip jar. That's in the description as well. And if you fancy some exclusive Captain Benzie swag, whether that's a t-shirt or a hoodie or baseball caps, stickers, notebooks, mugs, you name it, check out my Redbubble merchandise store. That's linked in the description as well. Anyway, folks, enough of me shilling my own ways to make money. This is my job after all, YouTube. Let me know how you get on with First Strike. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden on the ground this time.